a beautiful, beautiful friend and sister. It is a great pleasure and an honor to have you here and to be able to talk to you and connect with you within this space. And I know you for some time now, and yeah, I got to like know you and love you and like just feel into the greatness of your being on a multidimensional level. But for all the beautiful souls that will listen to this and may not know you, I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you are doing. That would be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Janine. I just want to say it's an honor to be here and to co-create with you in this way. Like, I feel extremely honored that you invited me to share this space with you. I actually feel a little emotional because I think this is such a special connection that we share, and just that you felt called to have a conversation with me just means the world. So thank you firstly for that invitation. And my name's Ali, and I am based in Australia, in the south of Australia, in Adelaide, and I call myself a multidimensional energy and light language channel, space holder. I'm a certified multidimensional soul integration practitioner. I'm also a holistic kinesiologist and a Reiki master teacher, and it kind of all of those things wrap in together. So I think multidimensional light language energy channel, space holder, oracle is just coming forward a little bit, and that's it's actually interesting. That's challenging for me to actually say. um, but I use all of those modalities to really support and empower other souls who are walking the path and awakening to themselves, returning to their presence and their heart, remembering who they are. And so it's a great delight that I get to witness beautiful souls coming to know themselves more deeply all of the time and in so many different ways. So I work one-on-one, virtually, and I do in person for those that are local to me. And most recently this year, I opened a virtual online community, the Temple of Light community. So, yes, it's a baby. She's a baby, but that's been a huge undertaking in the sense of hearing the call from the Divine Mother, and even that makes me a little shaky to say, to answer that call and to step into my leadership, my inner authority and sovereignty, as the divine feminine oracle in that space. And I really feel like it's part of my soul purpose to be the steward of spaces of community, creating spaces for people to come and just to be held, and to hold that field and that frequency. So that's a new element into my world at the moment, but I definitely have such a wonderful connection with people one-on-one or in mentorship capacities where we work over 4 to 6 weeks, and really soul alchemy, I think, is probably the best way to sum all of that up. It's soul alchemy. It's so I'm just so passionate about supporting those to return to their higher self, to return to their heart.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I feel this so much because when I was preparing for this, or like preparing, I don't know, feeling into how this could unfold, what came forth so strong, and with me, like really experiencing you and your gifts and just your beingness and spaces, and that you mentioned the Divine Mother is so I feel this is like so on point, because
Mhm.
every time that you are in a space, you bring this Divine Mother frequency. You have this, I feel, this nurturing and nourishing and just gentle and uplifting energy. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. And I feel that like all the spaces, I mean, you have thank thank the goddess you step forward to like create your own y- a way where you can
Mhm.
welcome the souls in your unique way, because I feel that was so so important. And everyone that gets to like be in your spaces and experience you is so so blessed to be able to experience you and be held within your spaces. And for all the spaces that you co-create with people, you bring something that is so so loving and so pure. It's just wonderful, and everyone can be very very happy to co-create and be in a space with you. So I'm
Thank you.
so so happy that you listened to that call and that you took that step. With that said, yeah, if there are any
Thank you.
rules, so welcome. I thank you so much, and I feel the Great Mother is like, oh yes.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm feeling the presence, like I'm literally heating up just with the presence stepping forward, because I know you carry that frequency. So we are, yeah, really creating a a sacred space for the Divine Mother through this as well. I really do feel that. Yeah.
So beautiful. Of course, everyone will be able to access all the links and check out your beautiful community space and everything that you are doing. Everything will be put in the description box below for anyone who feels like I need to check this out now. You will be able to do
Everyone
that.
is welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is welcome.
Cool. So, Ellie, I'm always interested in like how people yeah, just grow into the person that they are today, knowing that you are also constantly evolving and growing. Like we don't reach this level that we are done with evolving. But I would love to know, like, just how your path unfolded within this human experience, and how did you like navigate through this space as a child and growing up, becoming a teenager, and following the path of your heart. Would you like to
Thank
share?
you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Beautiful question. It's an interesting one because I feel like I just always had an innate knowing and an innate sense and an innate knowing that there was something more. And I remember as a small child seeing things, feeling things, hearing things that other people didn't. And I know that made some people uncomfortable. And I learned very quickly to moderate that a little bit. And perhaps I moderated that too well because it really did close off for a long period of time. And it was there, but I think I just didn't want to connect to it. But I remember quite often still hearing and feeling things as I grew up. And I certainly didn't have any traumatic experiences in my childhood, but I had significant events of things that shaped my experience and shaped who I was, shaped how I showed up. So there was a lot of really retreating inward. And so I was typically described as a very shy child because I just didn't know what to say sometimes, because it was, I either say something that I'm not supposed to know, or I couldn't, I guess, differentiate between that for a while. But having said all of that, that innate knowing never went away. And I think it gave me a lot of comfort. So even though I didn't necessarily speak to it, I internally connected with that. And I recall being able to use those gifts in ways that I probably didn't give voice to. That's what those were, but I was definitely protected. I was definitely guided. And it wasn't really until probably my mid 20s that I really kind of explored it a little bit more and found myself connecting with a clairvoyant who then became a very dear friend who helped me see the gifts that I was carrying and helped me actually uh, with the clairsentience because I was feeling everything from everybody, carrying everything for everybody, and I was a bit lost at sea with all of that, and so it was through that experience that I began to open and understand what energy work really was. And Reiki obviously came into that sphere and that world. And I say to people even today, I know everyone has kind of a mixed a view on the modality of Reiki. And really, I view Reiki as just an energy modality anyway. But it really, that was the catalyst for me doing my first level of Reiki because it really empowered me and it really gave me this sense of understanding the energy that I had access to and really starting to hone the mindfulness of the intuition, allowing the third eye to open back up and my heart, because that has been a journey in itself of opening the heart. So it kind of snowballed from there, but it still took me. I was in the spiritual closet for a really long time. Um, it took me until becoming a mother um, to really start to, I think that cracked me open. It really cracked me open. Um, it was the catalyst for so many different things because suddenly I was thinking about life from another human's perspective. It actually makes me feel emotional thinking about it. So I started to want to make different choices for my daughter
Mm.
that I probably wouldn't have made for myself. And so this was a real turning point. I would probably say that the depth of my spiritual awakening happened at this time when she was about 2. I had really struggled
Mm.
becoming a mother. It's interesting that you describe me with that connection to the Divine Mother and being very nurturing and caring because that's what that's what most people say. But when I stepped into motherhood, it did not come naturally to me. And I think it poked all of the pain points that I'd been carrying over my life of not being enough and not having the resource,
Mhm.
feeling depleted and overgiving, overextending. So I built up the confidence to leave a 15-year relationship, to leave with my daughter, to make some choices based on what was right for me that was ultimately going to best serve her. And, I know a lot of people think in that situation that they want to stay for the children,
Yeah.
but our situation was one where it was actually better served by us making a different choice. Um, so that was a real turning point, and it was messy, it was challenging, it was complicated. I won't say that I always was my best self for the first couple of years, but I really learned a lot about myself and I learned to trust because I heard the call in the middle of the night that I needed to make that move. And that was the first step of me really listening in big times, in big moments. And there were many then of moments through that time that required me to really lean in and listen. And as I said, in the first couple of years, probably didn't do that to the way that I could have. but I'm not who I am today without having been through all of that. And this is what really started to open me up to understanding how life's experiences really are just there to support the remembering of who we are. And so I was able to, through that journey, and I'm still doing it now, I don't think it ever ends, but to see how when something was happening to me, that what was it there to show me? What could I learn about myself? What could I see? And I really tapped into the self-awareness, to self-responsibility. I stopped blaming other people, other things, the situations, blaming life, and started to really take an active role in what I was choosing, what I was choosing. And that was such a turning point. And so, as part of that choosing, I stepped into my holistic kinesiology studies because that felt like that was calling me to deepen the connection to the body and understand. I didn't yet really know where that was heading, but I knew there was something that I needed to understand about the body. I knew that part of where I was being called to was to really bring presence to the body. And that actually turned out to be the biggest self-development course that I could have ever done because I learned so much about myself through that process. And it is as much what I got out of it as to the way that I use it now, because that really did further my knowledge and understanding about the balance of the body and the spirit, because we worked very much on the traditional Chinese medicine principles. So working with the essence of the spirit, the meridians, how the impact of our emotions, our energetic field is impacting what's happening for us physically. And so if I fast forward to where I am now, I understand the purpose of that was to really facilitate this physical ascension process that we are navigating and being really embodied and being really in the body. So there's been quite the journey for me through that. And it was at that point that I really answered the call and said yes and kind of opened the doors of my business for the first time. And again, like everything that I've done, there's been hits, there's been misses, there's been ups, there's been downs, but everything really has contributed to me knowing myself more deeply. And it's been less about creating a career or a business or anything like that, as in just saying yes to what you're being asked to do and trusting that what you receive from that will be whatever it needs to be. So it's not always about how many clients am I seeing or what am I offering here? What am I doing? It is just me showing up and the confidence, the trust, and the belief that really grows from that. So yeah, that's kind of a that's kind of a simple overview. I wouldn't say that I necessarily had any great catalyst for my awakening, because it feels like it's always been there. But it took me through it took me to walk through some experiences that were not serving me, and some crossroad moments where I actually chose myself, that I think created the biggest awakening, and is still happening to this day. I mean, me saying yes to this conversation and leaning in with courage. Yeah, I'm still doing those things. I think sometimes people say to me, "But you look so calm, and you look like you have it all together." And as you know, Janine, I'm sure it's so different, isn't it, on the inside to what's happening on the exterior. But I love the way that you also phrased coming into this about allowing for authenticity. And that's really what I've tried to lean into personally and also bring into anything that I'm connecting or co-creating or sharing, whether that be one-on-one or in community or, just down the street. is to uh, try to show up as authentically as I can to invite that in return. And I think that that's, true essence. That's true essence, isn't
It
it?
is.
That's bringing the true essence. Mm.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, so authentic and so honest and so raw. Just feeling like taking the time to witness what you shared.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And also feeling like um, thanking you for choosing yourself and for making this step, for yeah, just listening to that
Thank you.
inner inner guidance, because coming from a difficult
Mhm.
childhood,
Mhm.
I know that mothers making these decisions for themselves and also for their children can save lives.
Mhm.
So thank you for, I know, I mean, yeah, just for building the strength and
Mhm.
yeah, being able to
Mhm.
make this decision. I know it's not the easiest decision to make, and I want to honor you and yeah, honor you
Thank
for
you.
taking that step. And I'm sure
Thank you.
your daughter is very, very grateful for you also to yeah, having done this. Ah, thank you.
I I think sometimes that we shy away from making the hard decisions. It's easy to sit in also the place of the victim.
Oh yes.
And I say that cautiously because there are times where we are actually the
Mm.
victim, but our power lies in that ability to choose, doesn't it?
Oh,
And that's something I remind myself all the time, and I speak to a lot with my clients is to consider looking at making a choice that feels uncomfortable, but is the next step. It is the most aligned. It is going to take you where you need to be.
wow.
And it's uncomfortable for a time,
Mm.
but it's like the analogy I use comes from a children's book that I used to read to my daughter, where it's a story about going on a bear hunt. And it's like, we can't go over it, we can't go under it, we have to go through it. And my guides drop that into me all the time, and often in the session for people where we're avoiding something, or where sometimes if you just say yes, if you just lean in and let yourself just trudge through the mud, that when you get to the other side, there's liberation, there's freedom,
Wow.
there's peace. So that's something that I feel really strongly about too, with the way that we connect to our emotions and our feelings. But I think if I if nothing else anyone takes away from this particular episode, it's to really sit with, contemplate, reflect, pause with the decisions, and think about what you've got there, and know that something might feel like it's impossible,
Mm.
because I know that's how it felt to me for many, many months. It felt impossible. But then it happened and I did it, and I had a confidence that I didn't even know was there. So sometimes trusting that it's confronting and it's challenging, but it feels like it's that one that you've got everything you need to do it. And of course, we're divinely protected in the way that we are stepping into whatever it might be. And my guides like to say anything is possible. Anything is possible. So, my daughter and I play a fun game with that too sometimes, because when we find ourselves limiting something, it's like, well, anything's possible. And I really feel like that this is that the same when you're making a choice, just because it's going to be confronting, or there's conflict, or it just feels hard.
Mm.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Life, the universe, the cosmos, spirit, whatever you want to call it, is always conspiring for us, isn't it? So it is always working to bring us into our most aligned self, our true essence. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you for allowing me to go on a little tangent there.
Well, you can go on all the tangents. I trust that this is all what the souls need to hear at this point in time,
Hmm.
and of course what I need to hear at this point in time, because it's landed in a very beautiful way. So thank you so much. Ah, so this is so wonderful that just reflecting on what you shared and diving into Reiki first, and
Yeah.
that Reiki like helped you also to open your heart, or start opening your heart, because I know it's a process, like
Mm-hmm.
also an
Mm-hmm.
ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like deepening this, or like grounding this energy and this knowing
Mm-hmm.
with the kinesiology. I always have
Mm-hmm.
to focus on
You did so well. You did so well.
I had so much, I struggled with words. I was like, oh my God. But yeah. And you mentioned with the kinesiology, um,
Mm-hmm.
bringing presence to the
Mm-hmm.
body, and I feel like yeah, tapping into this a little bit deeper, and of course you weave into what you learned throughout life,
Mm.
and you weave this into what you do, and yeah, just accessing the toolkits, like, and
Yeah. Yeah.
like take out what you need, and what is like present
Yeah.
with your clients, with the soul that is there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that
Mm-hmm.
is so cool, and it's a very very beautiful foundation, to have this Reiki foundation, and build
Mm.
with
Mm-hmm.
build upon, and deepen it
Mm.
with kinesiology. But yeah, maybe we bring a little talk a little bit more about how this can like help to be more embodied. Maybe
Mm.
there's something that you feel like bringing through, helping with being more embodied, and why
Mm-hmm.
embodiment so important, especially within this point in time that we are in.
Mm. Yeah. Look, I think the first thing that I want to say in relation to the embodiment is this deeper understanding that is coming through, and a lot of people are sharing this now too, is that there are things that we can do in our body with our multidimensionality, with our spirit, our soul, our higher self, whatever you want to call it, our divinity, that we can only do through the physical body, and being here on Gaia, and being in the physical plane. And I think that the understanding that we have, instead of needing to go home,
Mm,
that we can go through our body, like our body is the vehicle to access home.
wow.
So for me, the body itself is like a cosmic portal. It's got its own intelligence, its own consciousness. And when you think about how magical the body is, it's made of the earth. it goes about doing its thing without us even giving any conscious, presence to it. So
True.
imagine what we could do if we brought some conscious presence to it, if we cleared some of the subconscious, some of the survival um, processes, I guess, that we have uh, found ourselves getting stuck in. And what if we could use that and be more creative with that here on the physical plane? And so, I mean, I think that the only way we can actually step fully through into with new earth consciousness is with the body. And for a long time, the message was coming through about me guiding physical ascension for myself, but also then guiding others. Because everything that I find myself guiding, stewarding, teaching, sharing comes from my personal experience. And so I know whenever I'm moving through something that there'll be others that I'm sharing that with. For a long time, I didn't really understand what physical ascension meant. I thought it was like taking in the body with us, and I guess it is partly that. But now I'm understanding more in this year, 2025, of how we're using the body as that vehicle to also create that field, the frequency of the new earth consciousness, and how we're underutilizing really what we can do with our bodies. And anything is possible, right? Like that's the world that we really live in. It's there's infinite potential, and I think we're only just scratching the surface of that. But I think for me, if I think about my personal experience with my body and being grounded, being anchored, and what often comes through in a session, it's really about creating the spaciousness for us to bloom, to be the most authentic, the best version of us that we can be. And it's almost like the body is the soil in which the rose or the flower blooms from. So the they kind of go hand in hand for me in
Mm.
that sense. So anytime, I love the way you do describe the toolkit because that's the way I see it. And that's why I don't really focus on one modality within that. I use some from all because that's really what we're doing is just creating this beautiful communion of our divinity or our multidimensionality with the physical body. So accessing, because it all weaves together. When you think about Reiki, we're working with energy,
Mhm.
working with chakras,
Mhm.
with the kinesiology and the way that I use that, we're working with energy, with the meridians, with chakras, with the energy bodies. We're using the body through muscle testing to actually identify where the imbalance is,
Mm.
being created by the subconscious. So we're tapping in to the subconscious through different ways and working with the emotions, working with what emotions need to be brought to the surface, that need all patterns, beliefs,
Mhm.
limitations. And, I know we haven't spoken yet about light language, but the light language actually weaves in through all of that because light language is tapping into the subconscious as well and working into that energy field and creating the, I mean, you can activate, you can integrate, you can calibrate, you can use
Mm.
that to really weave all of those other parts together. And so for me, it's really coming back to that union of mind, of body, of heart, of soul, of spirit, to allow us to be the best versions of ourselves, to utilize the fullness of who we are. And also, you zoom out on that because we're working as a collective to support Gaia and to walk into the age of the new earth, or whatever you want to call that future. So it kind of, I guess I see the more we do this with ourselves and the more we do our inner work and we just show up as ourselves, we just be ourselves, we go about and do our thing. When we zoom out, if everybody's doing that, we're contributing to the collective as a whole. Mm. Yeah.
Deep, deep resonance.
Mm.
You brought that through so beautifully, and I love so. I just love to listen to you. You have a wonderful way with words and just letting this beautiful, beautiful information and codes flow through you. It's so heart centered. It's so coming from the heart, and I feel this so deeply. Thank you so much, Ellie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing awareness to this. And I love the metaphor with the rose and the
Mhm.
body being the soil for the rose to the flower to bloom. This is this is so so beautiful. And I love that you reminded us that yeah, ascension is happening through us, not outside
Mm.
of us. It's happening
Mhm.
through us, through the body, and through bringing presence into the body. And yeah, and I love that you also like yeah, brought awareness to the fact that we are just tapping into this. Like we are just, I don't know, not. I feel like not even 5% of what the human body is capable of
Yes.
doing. Um,
Yes.
just
Mhm.
like putting our noses into this world,
Yes, definitely.
doing the best we can
Hmm.
in these beginning stages of the
Hmm.
years that are unfolding. But thank you so much. So this is so. Thank you so much, Ali.
Could
Yeah.
I add something else, Janine, before we move on? Because what I'm feeling is that this is also would be beautiful to tie back to what I was sharing about the choices, the decisions that we make, and that this is where the making the choice or taking the decision to actually feel what we're feeling and to allow ourselves to lean into the uncomfortable is so powerful, because sometimes there's no real work to be done. We just need to allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling and not hold on to it. Let it, rise like a wave or come in like the wave and go back out. And so, yes, it's not always glamorous. It's not always love, light, and rainbows. There are moments where we have to sometimes sit with that uncomfortable. But if we continue to do that and get, I guess, more practice at allowing it, it often moves a lot more quickly than I think that we anticipate. So I would love to just bring that awareness into that as well for anyone that is listening, that sometimes it is just letting yourself feel what you're feeling and letting it also pass. And knowing that if you can just step a little bit into the uncomfortable, that's like going into the uncomfortable, going into the mud, that you will go to the other side. You will step into the other side, and that there is such a moment of bliss that happens when all of that lifts and all of that moves. And it just creates this beautiful flow and cycle. And you'll notice that effect. You'll see that effect in your life. You'll see that effect in yourself, because that's what I personally have witnessed. And I witness hundreds of people walking through.
Wonderful. Ah, wonderful. Yeah, it's so important. So important. I also felt like tapping into this emotion thing and the importance
Mhm.
of yeah, the importance of just letting things flow, because
Mm.
like you said, the flow is the thing that keeps us moving forward. Like
Yeah.
when we start pushing against something, or we like, I'm not gonna do this right now, it's still there. It's easier,
Mhm.
like you said before, to move through these things, move through these things. I love this. Thank you so much for bringing this into the space.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So, ah, so many possibilities, so many pathways to
Mm.
tap into.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like with you, maybe you can give us a little bit of a deeper insight or perspective on, yeah, how one can work with being a multidimensional being, and maybe
Mm.
also, yeah, using it for growth and a tool for
Yeah.
ascension.
Hmm. Hmm.
You feel like tapping into this?
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. I think the the first, in my opinion, the first step of understanding that you are multidimensional is also recognizing that you are more than just this body.
Mm.
You are more than just this life, this existence that you are in. And I know so many people are already feeling into different aspects of themselves and different incarnations, and understanding that there is power in bringing all of those aspects into your awareness, into your field, into this body, into this incarnation right now, to utilize the gifts, to utilize the abilities, the talents, the knowledge, the wisdom, but also to reconcile if need be, so that it's not holding us back as well, because there are elements there that are also going to be contributing to some fear.
Yeah.
So, for me, too, when we talk about multidimensionality, it's about recognizing ourselves as that whole being. So, all of those parts of us, whether that is here now, past life, parallel life,
Mm.
other aspects and incarnations, and bringing all of that here into this body and into this field now,
Mm.
and really understanding the capacity that we have, the wisdom that we have, the knowledge to begin to creatively uh, navigate and shape our reality.
Wow. Powerful.
So, this is bringing more of your authenticity, more of your true essence, more of that whole self here. And probably where it starts to dip into me for understanding, being a creator, a sovereign creator, that we have that capacity to start to use all of this to shape what we actually would like to feel, we would like to be, that we might like to do, how we would like to express that, and really bringing the power back into our hands. And because again, it's bringing us away from the perhaps victimhood
Yes.
or the powerlessness, the helplessness that sometimes, has been shaping our reality up until this point. And I say that with no judgment, because
Mm.
it's created based on what experience that we've had and what knowledge that we've had. But now, what if we could take all of this like a big library and use that now to proactively
Mm.
and with accountability, with ownership, create what we want to do. And there'll be times that maybe we don't do that as well as we would like to do. And this week I've done that myself. There's been some days where it's like, I could have been a bit better at navigating that, but that's okay, because the next day we make some different choices. We
Yeah.
make different choices because we're learning all of the time.
Yes.
So, and part of what I feel like comes with the understanding of multidimensionality and this state of being is also that this is a blip in our soul, oversoul, our God self sense. This lifetime is just a little tiny blip of that. And again, if we zoom out, we can see that what we do here is having a greater effect on our overall. I don't know what you call that. You might have a word for that, but the overall divine beings
Mhm.
experience.
Beautiful. Something like the oversoul, maybe, or like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
up to the source.
Going up. Um, to give an example, what's become really evident for me in the last 18 months is that I'm here, my personal purpose or mission, maybe is a better way, is is to step into my self-mastery,
Wow.
to remember myself as the master. And I'm not alone. Like, this is not something just me, but because I feel this for everybody. But it's become apparent to me to be really aware of that and to understand that these choices, the actions, the embodiment of all of the multidimensional parts of me here is contributing to that self mastery and becoming that master once more in this body.
Wow.
And I don't know where that goes from this lifetime, but I know that that's part of, the experience that I wanted to have.
Mm.
And I think that for a majority of us, if not maybe all, at this point of incarnation and what we are doing here as a collective, that many of us would be here to step into our own mastery as well. So that idea of bringing all of the multidimensional parts, aspects, lifetimes,
Mhm.
and you know reconciling, integrating, embodying is part of that mastery as well.
Wow. That that dropped in. That landed. Thank you.
Okay, good, because I was just thinking, did I answer the question?
You did, Ellie. You said
Okay.
way, way more than that. So thank you so much for bringing this into the space because the self mastery is also like it's what is pushing everything forward. Like
Mhm,
more people are self mastered because the whole time you were like sharing this so beautifully, I was like, know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. That's
yes,
all that
yes,
that
yes.
came through for the whole time. Like, yes, of course, know thyself
Mhm,
and all the
mhm,
selves, you know.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
and it's maybe um, because we know what multidimensionality is. You and I, we
mhm,
feel it. We may have connections or open communication with different beings, different selves from different timelines, dimensions, past, present, and future. But for some souls that may just embark on this and just open up
mhm,
for yeah, just maybe accepting that there's something like multidimensionality. And
mhm,
because I can imagine there's this, or what could come up is like, wow, can I handle everything, everything
mhm,
that is unfolding?
mhm,
Like, and this is where the integration and the embodiment part
mhm.
comes in, and also this not everything has to happen all at once. Like this
Correct. Yeah.
this big tree does not have to like appear all at once, and
No.
people, you don't have to go crazy or anything. You can like have this awareness and like just be in your body and
Mhm.
be present and being able to work with this. And I feel maybe this is the point where we can like bring some awareness to the multidimensional soul integration part
Mhm,
and
mhm,
how
mhm.
this, yeah, can really help to embody and anchor more of what we are and how
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, and essentially multidimensional soul integration, the modality is doing exactly that. It's bringing awareness to those other aspects of you. Now, sometimes sometimes that might be a whole being. You might have a full picture of what that being, that person, or whoever you were, the aspect. But then what I find a lot, especially for people who are just stepping into this,
Mm.
what comes in is more cellular remembrance.
Oh wow.
So it's not always a distinctive, I was a priestess in this, and this, but it will be something that is actually activating very gently through the body, the cellular remembrance, to allow that unfolding. Because this is where I feel that we need to listen to the body, we need to listen to even our own higher self or oversoul in this, because it can, the desire, once we know that there is more parts of us, we do want to grab the fruit off the tree really, really quickly.
That's so true.
And people get frustrated when it doesn't happen that way. And this is where I say that you're really being guided by your body and by your higher self to allow the integration and the embodiment to occur, so that you're actually building. For me, I see it like a foundation. So they'll like the guides will often show me like we're building the foundation of the house to start with.
Wow.
So before you can put the walls up, you need to have the floor down. So that's kind of, uh, um, I guess, an easy way to
Mm.
connect to this idea that I need to build the foundation first. So sometimes I may not necessarily know exactly what's going into the foundation, but I just trust that when the walls are ready to come in, that they will come in, the windows, the doors, the roof, it will continue to grow. Um, and I think that this is also creating space for the body. It gives the body time to catch up to everything that's happening, because the body at the moment is a little slower to integrate any energetic work that we're doing.
Mm.
So and that's just in my experience, and with the people that I work with and my own body. We're working in the quantum, but then we need the body just to catch up to allow that space. And so this is where that cycle, like observing the cycle, we
Mm.
don't just want to activate. We want to activate, we want to integrate, we want to pause, we want to slow down. And your body might need that to actually really recalibrate
Yeah.
to what's coming in. And if we think about, we're speaking about the body being made of the earth, being our soil. And if we think about the cycles in nature and just allowing ourselves to observe that kind of cycle where things do need to time to grow.
Yes.
Excuse me,
Thought.
time to grow. Um, so it goes against what our mind and our ego want for us, because we're so used to instantaneous gratification,
Yes, so
things
true.
happening straight away. And that's not how nature works.
Mm.
And so if you can lean into, again, the uncomfortableness of slowing down
Mhm.
to allow the pieces, your foundation to really start to build and become solid. And ultimately, having also through my own personal experience seen, the more that you work on your foundation,
Mm.
the more rapidly you will actually start to build that house, and you will have the platform to really then expand on that and to be able to hold that. Because it's one thing to start to bring all this in, but like you mentioned before, we need to be able to hold it,
Mm.
because the body will automatically fire off in the hypervigilant state and panic, because
Mm.
hey, I don't know if I can hold this.
Yes.
But allowing that slow kind of build, and I'm talking slow, but for some people that might only be an hour, a couple of hours a
Yeah.
day. For others it might be a month or more. I mean, it's so hard to say, but allowing yourself to maybe connect with this idea of you're just building the foundation, and starting then to build on that by creating the house, along with that as well.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so, so, so important. Yeah. I hope that all the souls that are listening to this really, yeah, feel into their hearts and their being and in the flow and the rhythm that they are like, that their being is like opening up this,
Yeah. Hmm.
opening this up for them, because
Yeah.
like you said, everyone has a different rhythm and a different way of
Hmm.
integrating, different time of integrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you so beautifully mentioned that sometimes the mind wants everything all at once, and
Hmm.
I can handle this and this and that, and in the end you're like,
Yeah.
ah.
And that therefore it also creates the uncomfortableness that your body doesn't actually fully embody it as or integrate it to embody it as well. And so all you're doing is prolonging yourself as well. So it's that funny, it's like the tortoise and the hare. If you go at the tortoise pace, you're actually still going to get to the finish line.
Yeah,
Um,
so
Yeah, and I just want to also add to that. I think that we can sometimes get lost in the naming of these different aspects and where they're from. Again, this is just my personal, this will not necessarily, I guess it's my truth. So, I want the listeners to use their own discernment and take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But that sometimes we can get hung up on the who it is,
yeah.
what's their name, where are they from, all of those bits and pieces, that we actually don't fully integrate that either, or
Wow.
um, we're not really allowing ourselves to just embrace that as part of the whole. And so I would just invite as well a little bit of lightness around getting to, not needing to have a lot of detail, but trusting that you know and have what you need, and that sometimes it will pop back up months later
Yes.
with more information within you. And so again, I had a session recently where what came through was, it was like the client was a vase, and all of these mosaic pieces were coming, the fragments were all coming back to create
Wow.
this beautiful, like multicolored jar. And she didn't necessarily have any information coming through for her or for me about what all of those different pieces were, but the significance was really of the calling of all of those parts back and coming back into that sense of being whole, of being one, and feeling that completeness that she was, and that she could go back and spend some time connecting with those different pieces, or know that they will come forward when it is needed. So I just wanted to share that as well, because I think sometimes the mind wants to know. Again,
Yeah.
the mind wants to know, and a lot of this is beyond the mind. A lot of this is really it's a felt thing. So
It
what do
is.
you feel when that's coming in? Like, what do you feel? How do you feel? Where do you feel it? And really drop in. And this again pairs so beautifully when we talk about working with letting the emotion move through us, because the more spaciousness we have, the more that we can actually bring in and feel. So just bringing that into the circle as well.
Oh, that rings bells like on all levels. Because our mind always wants to make sense of things, but
Mm,
yeah, as part of this embodiment and the embodiment practice to really allow yourself to feel things. And like, I mean, when there are like soul retrieval methods, when emotion is really felt in the body, but you can also look at things from a more from this overview perspective, you know.
mhm,
But in the end, everything that is being felt is like transmuted in a way, and
mhm.
if yeah, I feel that very very much. Thank you so much for bringing this into the space, and yeah, for I felt like tons of information dropped in. my mind cannot even comprehend like ah. but,
Yeah, yeah.
but I hope that everyone who is tuning in throughout all space and all time just open themselves for all these beautiful golden nuggets that you dropped into the field, and especially for your beautiful heart frequency and heart transmissions that you bring forth, and just to be able to experience and feel the greatness of your presence and your being is just
Mm,
it's a pleasure and a joy. It's always, Ali, with you. Everything felt so effortless with you. I mean, I'm not always like everything has to be smooth and everything, but with you there was
mhm,
this, I don't know, this connection and this love that I just immediately
mm,
felt with you, and it's
mhm,
there, it's
mhm.
ever present. So before we wrap this beautiful conversation up, we have to let the souls know where they can find you first. And
Mhm.
yeah, maybe you feel also like sharing some offerings, some events, or the temple space that you have, the Temple of Light.
Mm.
You also have an amazing podcast with your friend Lauren that I love.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Janine. It's just been so much fun. Like I could talk about this for hours, for hours. But I love the way that that we were brought back into, there was such a common thread there. We were brought back into that. So it's really beautiful. And I was feeling, I just want to say, as you were talking about being open, I was being shown, like, just for any of the listeners to see your cells opening like little flowers. I'm seeing like little flowers through the cells and just receiving through that frequency, because I definitely feel I'm holding a field today that is coming through a lot more than even the words that are coming through. So I just wanted to add that too. Thank you. But yes, you know, your listeners can find me on Instagram. It is _Ali_Tucker, and my website is ali-tucker.com. And yes, so the probably what I would love to share with the listeners is the Temple of Light community, because I think it's just a wonderful place to come in and to feel the frequency with me, to feel the field, to connect with other, you know, like-minded souls, mostly women at the moment in that space. But I don't want to discount any divine masculine that wants to step in to the community. um, so we do 2 guided journey circles virtually per month. And then we have a Telegram group where we just share and we connect in between times through there. But it is really guided by the Divine Mother and the Divine Feminine frequencies. And so really there we're journeying just a lot more deeply with returning to our presence, returning to our heart, and in whatever way that weaves in through that space. But I've had a few people just say recently that they just didn't, stepping into that space, they just didn't feel alone. Like they felt, you know, seen, they felt held, and just, you know, in a really loving, safe, sacred space. So it's a great starting point. It's only $33 Australian per month. So I would love, you know, we'll have the link if people love to join. And I do, as I mentioned, do one-on-one sessions virtually, 30 minutes or an hour, and also do a light language activation with your higher self. 10-minute audio is also available as well. All of that's on my website. And I've just started offering a few sort of on-demand courses, which are a bit more, not, I don't know if I call them courses, but activations. But there's something for everyone, something for everyone. And yes, dear friend Lauren McLeish and I are just sharing our conversations as a podcast. So it's pretty raw because we're just taking it from our weekly conversations. But, you know, the feedback on that has been really, really incredible of people just resonating with just this the way that we're connecting and sharing. And I think that this is what is here for us all at the moment, isn't it, Janine? And what you're offering through this podcast is just to feel part of that one, to feel part of their community, and to connect, even if it is, in virtual ways, but to come back to our heart and to feel the love that is in and around us at all times. So thank you for being a steward and for being a steward of this too.
Ah, thank you so much, Ali. I have no words. I'm bowing to you being and what you are and what you hold and what you bring through, and you're just a blessing to this world. And these hard teachings, and so powerful, so powerful. Oh, and I would love to encourage like everyone who feels a call to reach out to Ellie, or check out the podcast, and or check out the website or the Instagram, because she's always posting wonderful activations and light language, and it's all so beautiful. Yeah, go check it out and feel into her space. I mean, you had like the best experience to feel into Ellie today. So amazing. And what I also feel like dropping in, be, in relation to your podcast with Lauren, is it's so cool to witness, like, to really embodied spiritual teachers and mentors and leaders. I'm using these words, you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm just using these words
Mhm.
to really allow themselves to be human, but
Mm.
and work through themes and emotions, and also allowing yourselves to be seen in that way, is something that is so powerful. And sparked it already planted seeds within the fields, and I feel it in the conversations that I'm having, that
Mhm.
people really allow themselves to do the same. So thank you for bringing this. Thank you for being, and shout out to Lauren. Thank you so much. Okay. Ellie, I love you with all my heart. Um, I just love you with all my heart, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. Thank you.
I love you too, Janine, and I kind of endless love for you. And thank you so much for this opportunity to connect and co-create, as I said, and just to share a little bit of my story too. I really deeply appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you.
It was an honor and
I
a
look forward to more co-creations in the future as
oh
well.
yes, oh yes, me. Oh, bye, beautiful beings.